Hello and welcome to That Man. That is my merchandise, and today we are talking about Demon Slayer Kimetsu No Yaiba because hey, it's ended and I'm probably never going to get another chance to even talk about this one. So, yes, it has ended. Now, first off, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. There's probably going to be spoilers in this little discussion. All I want to talk about is just a little off the wall kind of thing about my experiences with Demon Slayer, and you know what? It wasn't even that bad of a series. It's a weird one. Everyone seems to either love it or absolutely hate it. And I kind of feel like this is because of its unexpected popularity. So unexpected that pretty much everybody who was into manga was hyping this series up way back at the end of 2018, which is when I originally picked up the manga when they started releasing them over here. I was hooked by it. When I first started, I was really interested. It was a nice... It wasn't really a change of pace, it was the usual killing demons. At least it wasn't a soul reaper. It kind of reminded me of a few other series that we've kind of seen come and gone. A more shonen style, seinen property. And it's not really kind of like... I don't know why. I was looking at it, I was just like, oh, well, this is like Berserk for kids. I don't know why I really got that impression. Berserk's more of like a Western fantasy, whereas this is obviously very Eastern. But yeah, there was something about it that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed the original two characters, Tanjiro and Nezuko. As I went on with it, I bought the first 3 or 4 volumes. I can't remember which ones it was. I think it was original 3 volumes, and you know what? The series was absolutely fine. I was enjoying it. It wasn't really doing anything particularly amazing. It was just a nice, decent read. When the anime was announced, I was just like, oh well, I'm going to try and catch up with it. I think what I was doing, I was just reading as and when the Viz ones were popping up. Because I was just like, oh, this is a Shonen Jump title, it's going to go on forever. I think it's around like 22 volumes as of ending. And I was like, no, I'm not going to buy 22 volumes. It's like, it's Shonen Jump, if it's on the app, I'm just going to read it on the app. Read it on the app. Then Shonen Jump started dragging their heels, and then I was like, they had a gap of like 100 chapters or something really ridiculous at one point. So I was just like, no, I'm not going to be doing that. I was like, I'm just going to catch up. At the end of the day, I'll catch up, and then I'll reread it once it's all out. It's all out now, so yeah, I'm enjoying that reread. But as it went on, it kind of jumped all over the place for me. There were some arcs that I absolutely loved, and some that were absolutely painfully difficult to get through. Not because they were bad, they were just kind of boring. The problem with Demon Slayer, I felt, was that it didn't really know what it wanted to be at some points. It was like, oh yeah, this is a huge action one, then it was just like the next one was just like, oh, it's a comedy one. I was just like, oh yeah, that's fine. It wasn't bad. I was getting a little bit fatigued with it, and especially when I caught up towards, once I got over over the chapter 100 or whatever it was, when it's the samurai blacksmith arc. I can't remember what the rest of it was. I don't remember much of that arc anymore. I don't, and that's quite bad for me. I usually, if a series is good, I do remember the arcs really well. But no, a lot of the arcs in Demon Slayer ended up just being kind of forgettable. Especially a year on later, I'm kind of looking back and I was just like, yeah, I don't remember this. Like the train arc, that's going to be in the next season. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that. I forgot about that character. So yeah, like I said, spoilers. So if you're not a manga reader, you're probably going to get spoiled. So because we're looking in endgame stuff. So the thing that kind of dragged me a little bit was the fights. Now, this was not really an issue with Demon Slayer. The fights were absolutely fantastic when you were reading them as a binge. When I was reading them week on week, the fights dragged. They really dragged. And I felt that was a bit of a problem. The final fight just went on for ages. In fact, I'm actually at the point where I'm actually considering the last 3 or 4 fights are probably going to be an entire arc to itself, and oh my god, that's going to be absolutely fantastic animated. But reading it week on week, I was just kind of like, let this end. Let this end. Just let this end. And it even fakes out where, like, especially towards the end, where Muzan has been killed, and he's just like, I'm going to possess Tanjiro. I was just like, no, you're not getting another arc out of this. And I was just like, I really kind of felt towards the end, I was just like, just let this end. Just let it end. It needs to end. And honestly, the ending I was fine with. I didn't really like the last chapter quite as much. But that was me looking at it as a Western perspective, because I was just like, oh, well, everyone didn't die, they all just got reborn. Then I was just like, of course, Japanese really believe in the whole thing of reincarnation. Of course, all of the characters are going to be reincarnated. And then once I kind of tweaked on that, and once I thought about it a little bit more, I looked back and I was like, you know what? That was a perfectly acceptable ending. It was a nice change of pace, as opposed to just, oh, hi, there's Ichigo's kid. You were in a fight last week, weren't you? But yeah, Demon Slayer, I think the problem with Demon Slayer, it's got a very loyal fan base. I'm kind of like, it's like, it exploded. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, there is a very toxic part of that fan base, but so does every series ever. I don't really think I'm going to go back and buy them. It's on the app, I don't really need to. I was weird with the anime though. It's just like the anime, everyone was kind of exploding. I was like, yeah, this is pretty, but again, I don't know, there was something about the anime, I just wasn't really enjoying it. I really got to the point, I think I got to like episode 9 or 10, and then I was just like, oh, I can't even be bothered to watch any more of this. And then I went back and just binged the entire rest of it, and again, it's a really good series as a binge. But week on week, month on month, it was just really, really slow. Demon Slayer, it was a perfectly acceptable title. For me, it didn't really do anything particularly amazing. It's kind of like My Hero Academia. It comes in, does its job, and went home. And I was really hyped. I was really on that Demon Slayer hype train when the anime was out. And then once I kind of got bored of the anime, I kind of just dropped off their series in general. And I think, again, it comes down to me catching up. I caught up halfway through the anime, and I was just kind of week on week, and I was just like, yeah, this is fine, this fight's great, but I'm going to wait for it on the anime where it's probably going to look a lot better, or I'm just going to never pick it up again. The characters in Demon Slayer, they're all fine. There was one or two characters I had an issue with, and the main one was, I can't even remember his name, he was just so boring. I'm going to call him Mr. Boring. He just didn't interest me. I'm going to put a photo of him because I don't even remember his name, he was that boring. The fifth main character, because hey, every single figure set and stuff like that he got a figure out of. But yeah, he was the only character I really had an issue with. All of the rest were absolutely fine. I really liked a lot of the pillars, the Pillar of Love, and I can't remember what the other one was called, the crying one. They were all fine. I really liked the guy with wives, the guy who had like 3 wives or something like that. The rest of the characters were all fine. Tanjiro was a little bit boring. I'm finding this a lot more in protagonists for Jump at the moment. This was always the case. I'm saying it's protagonists: Naruto, Ichigo, Tezuko, Tanjiro, Deku. The okay, but like literally every other minor character I think I liked more than these main characters. I like Asta, and Senku's fine, so's Emma and Luffy. But yeah, I don't know what it is, it's like Jump things I kind of like, yeah. And this is what people say, if you don't like the Jump main character, just don't read it. Absolutely not. If you don't like it but you like other characters, by all means get invested in them characters. You find what you like in a series and take it from there. But Tanjiro was never bad. I always felt like Tanjiro and Nezuko were kind of like joint main characters, even though Nezuko didn't appear for like 100 chapters. Yeah, this is going to be interesting when season 2 drops and everyone's just going to be like, But yeah, Demon Slayer, it was an absolutely fine series. There wasn't really anything I kind of loved nor hated about it. It was just a series that did its job, and at the end of the day, I can't fault a series like that. It was never truly bad. It got boring, it got long-winded, much like this video, but yeah, I never really hated it. The art style was fine. I can see why a few people didn't like it, but yeah, I didn't really have any much of an issue with it. It was a perfectly acceptable series, and the one thing I kind of am noticing here is that I've watched all of the anime and I've read all of the manga now, and I'm coming up to my second reread of it, and I'm struggling to talk about it for more than 10 minutes. Yeah, that's kind of like something that's difficult to kind of put ahead. I'm kind of like, the arcs are fine, but in the grand scheme of things, they are kind of forgettable. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, that training arc, that arc within the forest, that's up there with Marineford, and that's up there with My Hero Academia's Mafia arc, which I wouldn't consider amazing, but I can remember it. And that's the whole problem with Demon Slayer. I feel like it's going to be a title that in a year or so's time I'm going to look at it, I'm going to see it on the shelf and just go, oh shit, yeah, that existed. Great. And it kind of feels like they caught lightning in a bottle with it. It kind of exploded, and I think it's kind of like the fandom's keeping it going, but yeah, it never really felt that it was a series that kind of had long legs, and people seeing that it was going to get cancelled before even anime ended. It was never going to get cancelled. There's nothing to even show that it was going to get cancelled. It was due to end. We already knew it was in their final arc when the anime was announced. It seemed Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland's been on its final arc for about 2 years now. But yeah, it's one of those series. It's perfectly acceptable. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I think it gets a lot more flack for what it is, but ultimately, I think I'm going to forget about it, and that's a shame because it did stuff. I wouldn't say it's going to have had anything amazing, but it did stuff. It certainly did stuff. And that's it from me. If you like this, please leave a like, please consider subscribing. What did you think about Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thank you for coming, and thanks again for staying. Goodbye.